Rich Dad community, welcome to a new show, How I Got Started. We're going to interview investors and entrepreneurs and find out how they got started, the good, the bad, the ugly, how they went from the left side of the cash flow quadrant to the right side of the cash flow quadrant and became financially independent. And as you can see, being an entrepreneur, you just have to do what you have to do, even if it means falling flat on your face and break your nose. So here I am, I'm your host, Christina. All right, so today we are going to introduce a wildly successful brand that is called State 48. And today we have the pleasure of having Mike Spangenberg.
You got it.
Okay,
yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
We're happy to have you here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we're very, very happy to be here with you. And we would love to, first of all, hear how did you get started? Why did you get started? So tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, for sure. So I was born and raised in Arizona. So if you're from here, you know that's widely unusual. The cool thing is now more and more people are growing up here.
Right.
But when I was growing up in high school and people asked how many people are from Arizona, I'd be like that one weird dude in the back, like raising my hand, like proudly raising my hand. And we're big sports fans, so like even before that, I always knew I wanted something of my own. Going in as early as like kindergarten, I always loved going back to school shopping. I always loved clothes. So naturally I was like, all right, after a while, like I want to create some of my own. Yeah. T-shirts were naturally, I loved Arizona.
Right.
But really it stemmed from the passion of just showing off pride for Arizona and going to, Cardinal games at Sun Devil Stadium and most of the fans being opposing fans, like that used to drive me nuts. So it's just like, and in addition to that, like we had 3 for $10 Walgreens shirts that were representing Arizona as far as apparel. And that, in my opinion, just wasn't successful and it wasn't really, representing Arizona in a positive and fashionable way. I just always thought we were better than that. So that's where like the passion came from. And there was anytime you're creating a business, and obviously this is my first one, our first one. So, but learning from that, you always have to solve a problem, right? And at that time, there was nothing representing Arizona in a positive.
So why State 48? Where did you come on? Where did you land on
Arizona
that?
is the 48th state,
right?
And even as funny as that might be obvious, but I didn't even know that before we started.
I didn't either. I had no idea.
And even now, like when we, people see our logo and see our name, and they really have that, like, especially if you're like at a show or something, or they see your product and they look at it and they're like, that's really cool, and then you kind of have like that, what is it kind of deal, and then you tell them, oh, I get it. But most people do know that, but. So when Stefan created the name, when we decided to partner up, Stefan is my other business partner.
Right, tell us about your partners.
Yeah, so both of them are brothers. Stefan and I grew up together. My dad was our T-ball coach.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Never thought we'd have been in business together. I spent 15 years in the hotel industry.
Oh, wow.
Stefan and I worked together in the hotel industry, so he knew I was trying to start something of my own. I was writing down names of a brand, probably in a book for probably over a year, and nothing ever really made sense.
Right.
We were actually living together at the time, and that's when he came up with State 48. And I still remember this day vividly. I was sitting down at my desk. He came out brushing his teeth, and he said State 48. And I was like, what's State 48? And he's like, Arizona's 48. And it was like the aha moment where you knew you had something special.
That's awesome.
So immediately after that, we submitted for trademark. And then Nicholas, our third partner, he's Stefan's younger brother. He's a self-taught graphic designer. He created our main logo, which you see now, hopefully all over the place. And, we submitted for it and went for it.
Okay, got it. So have you always been an entrepreneur? Like when you say you always wanted your own apparel or you wanted your own T-shirt, did you have that in you, like since you were a kid, you feel?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, I always knew, like, not to be corny, but I was put on this planet to do something special.
Cool.
So I really do feel like that's starting to come together. But even... I did a couple network marketing things. I always, like, during my, rise in, like, the hotel industry, I always wanted to do something on my own. Like, I'm a hard worker. I love working. But I was really trying to find my passion in life. And Arizona is, I have almost every Arizona tattoo you can think of. Like, I'm born and raised here. So it was, like, really that pride, thing that we just want to sell on products.
All right. So as an entrepreneur, and especially working with 2 siblings and being 3 guys, what were your obstacles? Did you have any obstacles? And did you, as we all know, hopefully you learn from your obstacles and your mistakes. What were yours?
Yeah, 100%. I could talk about challenges all day. I think the the biggest thing for us when we first started, I mean, each invested $500, so a total of $1,500 investment, and sold over $4 million in T-shirts and hats, you know, since we've started. So, you know, we've definitely learned as we thank you, and still have so much room to grow. So, any advice, you know, to give other people is like, you can do anything you put your mind to, and that's not just saying it. If you're really passionate about it, but the challenges along that way is the first 2 years we didn't take a dollar. We were all working full-time jobs. It gets very expensive to run a business, to start a business without any real resources or capital. And that's how we wanted to do it. So that was the real big challenge, like working 10, 11 hours a day out at the hotel, and then, you know, going home, taking a shower, getting some food, going to the shop, and then working till 1 or 2 in the morning and doing it all over again. Your body just kind of gets used to it, but you know, it was never really work to me. I was like so exciting to see, you know, little success start to happen, and you're so much, you know, you're so motivated by that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So you got to love the grind. And that was a big challenge. And then having, you know, younger, I mean, we've been in this almost 7 years now, the three of us. You know, there's a lot of pride that goes into decisions, and at the beginning you know, we still have our, you know, disagreements, but it's a lot more mature disagreements now. At the beginning, pride sets in, and you know, you want to make decisions based off what you like or what he likes, what Stefan likes. We all three totally different personalities and have interests too. So I think ultimately that complemented us. But at the beginning, it was like more about us, what we wanted to do. But we really quickly realized, you know, this is what the customers are telling us what they like. What do they want to buy? Like just listening to them and putting, you know, going off facts, not opinions, and you know, that can kind of get clouded. So that was a huge challenge for us, you know, at the beginning, is really putting our pride aside, like working together. You know, I didn't really get to know Nick until we got into business together. I knew Stefan, but and then also being friends, like that's hard, like to have those honest, you know, conversations, and you know, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but in business you have to be honest, and you have to get over that kind of stuff. So it is very hard to work with friends and family, and then especially with them being two brothers and basically best friends, you know, you can kind of naturally feel sometimes like 2 against 1, or if I'm going, you know, if I feel this way, well, if they both agree with one way, so so that was definitely a big challenge.
And your biggest mistake? Do you have one that you can share with the audience? What your biggest mistake was from the beginning?
I would always say I wish we would have started earlier. I mean, you definitely, you know, especially, you know, people now are starting businesses in high school, and you have no, you know, restrictions on, you know, your income and your bills, and you know, I worked my way up to become a GM in the hotel, so I was the last person to go full time, because it's harder to leave that, you know, full time, you know, salary and the benefits and all that stuff. So the reality is, even though I was wanting to do that since day one, it's not the reality. So if you have limited resources, you know, or I mean limited responsibilities at the beginning, you could, you know, start everything, you know, and it's easier, and you can build on that as you go, and you have your, you know, your kind of bigger network at that time in high school and stuff. So that's probably, I mean, we've made plenty of mistakes along the way and learned from it, but I would say I just wish we would have started earlier.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. And having your biggest mistake, or one of your biggest mistake being, we wish you would have started earlier, is a fantastic mistake to have. So where do you see yourself now, or where do you see yourself 5 years from now? How are you moving forward with all of this?
What's been impressive is year over year we've grown. So every year, you know, since 2013 we've grown financially, so that's been exciting. We start to venturing off in different things as far as not just selling T-shirts and hats, like that will always be our core of our products, but you know, license deals like with the Hat Club, and we just launched a credit card with 1AZ, so there's a revenue share with that, and really our ultimate goal is to be that recognized brand of Arizona. We want to you know, just simply show love for our state where we're from, show off the pride, and obviously products are always going to be a core of that, but for us it's so much more than just selling products. Like we sincerely believe in like helping our community, and evidence of that is we've done almost 200 collaborations this year with other organizations in the Valley, whether it's a nonprofit, it's a restaurant, it's a brewery, you know, schools. So we'll create a co-branded design, sell it to them at a wholesale, and then they resell it and create it and use it as like a revenue generator. And because our brand's starting to be recognized and we have a good quality product, you know, then they can add more value to. You know, I feel like in the past, like T-shirts were kind of an afterthought, especially for businesses. Like, let's make a cool shirt, a quality shirt that people want to wear over and over again, and then it naturally just creates conversation, which we hear all the time.
Yeah,
so it's really served as a really good fundraiser,
Okay.
Conversation starter, and just showing love for our state. But our ultimate goal is to be that recognized brand of Arizona.
Okay.
You know, we're working on a license plate deal, which could be huge. I mean,
wow.
again, we when you come to Arizona, we want you to know State 48.
48.
You know,
Okay, got it. So tell me if any of the collaborations that you did were kind of the tipping points of where you went from being unknown to being known.
Yeah, 100%. So our first collaboration and really set the bar of like what collaborations look like for us was working with the former Cardinals head coach Bruce Arians, which they're like family now. But how it all started is, you know, we love sports, so we always want to, you know, we work with all our sports teams. We wanted to create something cool, so we pitched an idea to Bruce Arians, you know, a year into him being the Cardinals head coach. It ended up being like the silhouette of his face with the headphones on, or something really simple. That year, the Cardinals went 13-3. $5 per shirt, because we were selling that shirt, went back to the foundation, which helped neglected children who had a bad upbringing. They work with Voices for Casa here in the Valley, so it was much bigger than, you know, supporting football. You're supporting a bigger cause, and that's what really set the bar of like, okay, this is like our standard of working, you know, with different organizations. And again, back to that, like the Cardinals went 13-3. We couldn't keep the shirts in stock. We, you know, since working with them almost 5 years now, we've raised like over $40,000 just off profit sharing of shirts, and doing, you know, donations of shirts for their golf tournament where they can raise money. So that gave us a ton of credibility. I mean, our shirts were, you know, ending up on Monday Night Football, and Bruce Arians at that time, you know, still is, in our opinion, like one of the coolest guys, and one of the coolest coaches and successful coaches here in the Valley, especially. So everyone wanted to latch on to that. That really became like the Cardinal shirt. Next thing you know, we started working with the Diamondbacks, and then the Suns, and then the Coyotes. So like that really, like, you know, set us apart, put us on the map, gave us a lot of, again, credibility. People knew we had a good quality product. Like this is not, you know, just some, you know, company that doesn't want to be around for a while. But
and just touching on the quality of the product, where do you produce your shirts?
All in Chandler. So
so it's all local.
So we buy our blanks here locally in Phoenix. Obviously that is exported, but still we buy as much as we can here locally. So we'll buy our blanks in downtown Phoenix. And then we'll manufacture in next to our headquarters in Chandler.
Right. So going back to the retail, you have retail locations where people can actually physically go and purchase your shirt, your apparel, your brand stuff. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So we have our headquarters in Chandler, which is a really unique concept. It's half our warehouse kind of. Workspace, and then the front's retail. So 2,200 square feet, not the largest, but it's a very good size for people to come shop. We're open every day, Monday through Friday and Saturday. So that gives a nice opportunity for people to come by and shop. We have our location in downtown Phoenix at the Churchill. What's unique about that is it's 10 local businesses, all out of shipping containers. So if you're looking for something, especially when the weather's nice, it's still like, it's not completely enclosed, so there's some outdoor climate. So when the weather's nice, you can get a drink, you can shop, you know, you can hang out, you can eat. You know, it's a really cool atmosphere in downtown Phoenix. In addition to that, we have other retailers in the Valley that sells our product. So if you went to our website, state48.com, and you went to the retailers, you could see other, you know, businesses that are selling our products, and that could be the Suns team shop, that could be, you know, a boutique, it could be, you know, Millie's, you know. It could be a variety of different ways.
Got it. Great. So you're all over the place.
Trying to be.
That's awesome. So, and then just because you've grown over the last, how many years you said? 7 years?
Almost 7 years. March of 2013 is when we started.
How do you feel about, because obviously it's not just the three of you anymore. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with, you know, employees and laws and taxes and everything like that? Do you have a team for that? Yeah,
taxes are fun. The more money you make, the more you have to give back. But yeah, I think that's the most rewarding part, exciting part, is actually like providing jobs. I mean, we're still a small team. I mean, there's 15 of us, but only 7 of us are full time. So we still have a relatively small team, but we couldn't have done it. We couldn't have done it without everyone. Even at the beginning too, there's so much kudos to everyone who's helped us all along the way. And that's, you know, you have to be, you know, strategic, and you have to be, different as far as like, okay, our website manager is someone we grew up with. PR is like my brother's ex-girlfriend. You know, other, like, you utilize your resources of people that, you know, maybe looking for an extra income that can help you along the way, that you can't justify a full-time position while you grow. So we're definitely grateful for our team.
Cool. Awesome. congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So if you have any advice you would give to someone, just like you did, advice to someone who wants to become an entrepreneur or who someone just started being an entrepreneur, what would be your top 3 advice?
Yeah, I love giving advice now that we, gone through it for almost 7 years and still in no way are experts. But first and foremost, and you'll hear it all the time, you have to be passionate about what you're trying to do. And you can't think the perception of being an entrepreneur is you're going to be a multimillionaire and you could just, go on vacation all the time and kind of that facade of, Instagram a little bit. But you got to want to grind. I mean, it's a 24/7 thing. I absolutely love work. Like this is my hobby. Yeah. So I'm cool with working 6-7 days a week and all the time, and because you could see those, rewards happen. Right. But definitely a piece of advice is, choose your partners, wisely at the beginning. That's a very important decision at the beginning, and you'll hear, as you hear, horror stories of breakups and all the time. So that's the last thing you want to have in your life is drama and all that. But again, being passionate, solving a problem, obviously, and
fulfilling
when
a
you're
need.
solving when you're creating something that's going to be different. And now you even see, a lot of similar, companies such as ours is representing Arizona in apparel, which I think is amazing because now you see how strong the community is becoming. Yeah. But what sets you apart? And for us, it's always going to be the collaborations, how much we give back, and we want to be so much more than just selling T-shirts and hats. So yeah, I would say again, choosing your partners wisely, definitely be passionate. You got to solve a problem. Those are probably like the top 3 pieces of advice.
Awesome. Yeah. So I do have one more question, which is, and I think you touched on it. If you could do it differently, do-over, besides starting earlier, what would you have done differently?
Yeah, that's a great question. Something I would have done differently is, I don't know if I would have been as much as I'm grateful for partners, and they'd probably say the same thing. I would probably do it where one person's in charge and, really have the people along you to help you along the way. Because as much as, again, we couldn't have done it with us 3 for everyone, like it's so hard to work with friends and family. And really, I think there's a reason in every organization you have, certain tiers of levels and such.
Personalities,
so,
I'm sure.
And it's just at the end of the day, it's just tough. So as much as, again, I'm grateful, I would have probably done that different of having friends be partners.
Okay, got it. Mike, thank you for being here today. We really enjoyed hearing your story. And if you, any in the audience, would like to check them out, they're at state48.com. And like Mike said, they also have 2 retail locations here in Arizona. So if you're local, swing on by and check them out. And thanks again for being here today. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's an honor.
And of course, congratulations and keep going.
Thank you.
State 48.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.